back when my family was, that home, my family was overly involved in this because we, roads and you were used to. Don't chase them. Don't chase them. Yeah.
We have a work session. Go ahead and check it and see if you can hear it.
Hello, sir.
So, yeah, just talk to Justin. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
The power button doesn't turn it off.
Hello.
For some reason, they decided the power button was on.
Unless,
Does it just shut off the screen?
No, but that's actually good with y'all. Waves going around that you use. But I made it so they were excited. So now we're going, we're doing different physical therapy, so it's my whole side, my.
it's my snow.
Yeah, I hear it. I know. Have a good one.
Just thinking, my laptop was down.
Yes, thank you.
I don't have it, we can see
During the public work on this case,
Es que tú me tienes una metraje.
or during the regular meeting? Okay.
It's sort of, it's down the agenda.
Yes, it's during the regular meeting. When they say during the first public input, if you wanna talk about a case, that's the time. Okay, sound good? So you will talk at the first public hearing.
Okay.
And it's after it's okay, there's some agendas over there. It's after the presentation. And there'll be the public hearing. Okay? Yeah, there's some, agendas over there. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Ay, con un tornillo.
¿Qué es un
Un marcador.
Hey, hola. How are you? Looking for Sherry. I know, for Sherry. You want a
Because it looks to me like this is.
Pero si te hago lápiz.
No, that comes to the decision that.
Did you get it?
No, I found it. I'm just putting it right now.
Do you remember? Do you remember if it was this one that was on this side or that was? I just remember.
Clarify my confusion here. Okay, I'm gonna speak about this and this, these two. New business. Do I make my, when do I?
No, so after this here, this is a hearing. If you want to raise right here where it says public comment, where's one, here's some approval.
I don't see, that's not public.
Right there.
Oh, okay. Okay, excellent, thank you.
Yep.
Very detailed. Something very. And it's like, I mean, the public comments before they've done anything. Sorry, Mr. Chase.
So, yeah, go ahead, ask the question. So the okay,
Right.
yeah.
It's this one. And the other one. Do this. And then we'll cut some.
So let's see. Yeah, it doesn't come up until,
All the scope of first. Approval of previous minutes. Friends from the. Maybe they know not to show up.
some places. do.
That's what's
Just
great,
don't
isn't
know
it?
they want me to meet.
Sí, porque tengo una de 60. Pero ahorita que no salgo de ahí, tengo mis dos. Bien grandotes, porque de ahí me brinco página a página.
Just screen is on my computer over here.
Turn this down.
No? Is that you?
Porque vienen del medio, vienen del cebo de la calle, luego llegan al Mir, del Mirrors, luego se las puso lo que ya dije. Pobrecito. ¿Cómo estamos?
Are you?
I'm kidding.
Next door.
I live with the patio. You know, they're next to the post office. I do, that's my favorite. Yeah, that's my job. That's my job. I'm Lori. Hi, Lori. Nice to meet you.
Just in case.
You?
Through your.
I'm glad he's here. I had to leave.
Let's just turn it off.
Precise.
Well, if they want to do the Zoom stuff, they got.
Do not. Perfect.
No, the only part that it has to be.
Right. Today, thank you all for joining us today. Today is Monday, February
12.
February 12th. Sorry, not Monday. Thursday, February 12th. This time is now 5:04 in the evening. We are here at the Mesilla Town Hall for a public hearing. I will note that Mayor Pro Tem Johnson Bjork will be running a little bit behind, so she will be joining us likely in the middle of the hearing. But we do have other members present. With this, we will open the public hearing. Right now, members of the public wishing to speak will be recognized by the chair and are asked to state their name for the record. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. It's important to note that there is no formal action that will occur during this hearing. The formal action is set for the meeting following the hearing. The hearing is specifically being heard this evening is a hearing on El Parian de Mesilla liquor license application for 1705 Tierra de Mesilla, submitted by El Parian de Mesilla, requesting approval to sell alcohol at this location in the commercial zone. We will have open the hearing now, as I had mentioned. We will have Eddie starts with the background, and then we will have swearing in of those that are wishing to speak for this. Sure.
You have it?
I'll get you.
No, I can do it. It's pretty simple.
Eddie, please, sir.
Mr. Mayor, trustees, good evening. Eddie Salazar, town of Mesilla Community and Economic Development. We are here today, as the mayor mentioned, it is for liquor license that it was submitted by Ms. Blanca G. Hussar and Cesar Hussar. He is here tonight along with his engineer, his architect. This liquor license is 1454-1705 Tierra de Mesilla, submitted by El Parian de Mesilla is the name of the business. Is requesting approval to sell alcohol at this location. The zone is general commercial. Ms. Blanca Hussar is seeking approval to sell alcohol at their future restaurant, El Parian de Mesilla. Ms. Hussar has submitted for a state liquor license with New Mexico Regulations and Licensing Department, RLD. Alcoholic Beverage Control, ABC Division, reviewed the application and granted preliminary approval. The approval was forwarded to the local jurisdiction, which is us, Mesilla, for consideration. As stated in the preliminary approval letter, notice of the public hearing shall be given by the governing board by publishing notice twice within 30 days prior to the hearing in a newspaper of general circulations. Notice shall also be published in our town website. Notice was posted also on the property as well. If approved, the original preliminary letter, approval letter must be signed by the town official, mayor or town clerk, and mailed back certified to the ABC division. The applicant will continue to meet all necessary requirements set forth by the ABC division, such as floor plans and operating procedures. No outside dining is being proposed at this time. Departmental comments. Mr. Hussar or Mrs. Hussar did. I don't have the date, but it's been about 8 months ago when we combined his property Casablanca with some adjacent properties, which were on the east side, to make it one full lot. And what this did is allow him to receive or obtain a Mesilla permit to be able to build that structure that's currently being built. Along with that, before the liquor license, or during the liquor license process, Mr. Gasara also stopped by the office and was issued a address for that building. It's still 1705. The building will be has been labeled as 1705B. Reason for that is because it is on the same parcel, and Mesilla Town Code, to be consistent, allows our utilities to be discussed. Not discussed. Utilities be able to service this parcel this way. So again, it has been forwarded to the Doña Ana County Assessor's Office and the Record Department. They do take some time to make that public and update their website. Restaurants is currently under construction, and interior plan, floor plan has been submitted, has not been submitted and approved. That is currently on the works that we are working with Mr. Lazar and his architect, his engineer, along with New Mexico CID Fire Department and the review committee. Hearing process requirements are set by the New Mexico RLD. We need to meet their requirements, and again, I read those above. A copy of applicant's business plan has also been submitted for their understanding, along with this packet. I do recommend approval. Alcohol license application has been submitted. New Mexico LLC license, New Mexico RLD preliminary letter has been submitted, and the business plan that you'll also find in the packet itself. The new address that I was issued to them was on January 7th, 2026. And I stand by for any questions. Again, Wisad is here in case there's any questions I might not be able to answer. He's available.
There won't be questions during this time because it is for.
Got it. I understand.
Thank you for that, Mr. Salazar. Members of the public, if you wish to speak on this case or have a comment, whether for or against, if you would please stand first. And thank you. And if you'll help with the swearing in for those that are standing.
All right, those of you that are going to speak, Mr. Alexander here, I just need you to raise your right hand. And when I say state your name, you state your name, and then if you have to say I. Say yes.
Chris Alexander,
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God as best of my ability.
swear to tell the truth, but
All you gotta say, I do.
right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Salazar. If you would, please. And then if you would, as it was mentioned, please state your name for the record.
Okay, Chris Alexander for the record. I had a question. I think I heard it, but it wasn't clarified to me. And that was that the address of 1705 is the recorded address of Casablanca or Blanca or what the name of the establishment is. And that was built on a separate lot as the 1705 address. And with that, they had requirements, building requirements and parking requirements to fulfill. They did what the town of Mesilla evidently had required, and they went ahead and built. And that lot was filled with backfill. The state of New Mexico was questioned about the amount of fill that was brought in there. And they iterated that when you're building a pad for a parking lot, there's, no process as far as compaction or anything. Just go ahead and put it in and put your parking lot in. But if there's going to be a building, the building had to be on an approved lot with compaction. And they informed me at that time that there was going to be no building there. And I told them that I had heard differently. And anyway, the building did appear and it was built. and finished off. And then their adjacent lot was a separate lot in the subdivision that was evidently acquired by the applicant. And upon that redevelopment, the process, I don't know whether it was followed through or not, but was to, if you wanted to combine those lots and make one lot out of it, you had the ability to do that as long as you followed the process and recreating a new deed with a description of one lot. And I don't know that the town of Mesilla has either recognized it or amended their plot plan for the subdivision. But the question came in that the parking lot that was created for the initial development is where the current building is located. And the question that okay, the question comes into play is that how did a building permit come about where there's a building located half on one lot and the other half on the adjacent lot without the completion of the process of recreating one lot? And when the development came into play with the new building coming in, that created a non-conforming lot with the original building because all the designated parking went away. And so theoretically, according to the way the code is written, you cannot create a non-conforming use. But whatever happened, happened, and it got in. And so my concern is that when checking the property out, I didn't see the posting in front of the area where the new building was, but in the area in front of the old building. And so in the application, it did not designate that that had been merged and created into one lot, which created lot A and B. And on the liquor application, it is only for the address. And so given one lot with two different structures on it and having the license to that address, it should be that the county record show that it is one lot and the designation of the separation of the building for the service, because theoretically with one address, you could move the liquor license all within the lot. So, and I would hope that with a new liquor license coming into Mesilla, that we would be within the guidelines of the ABC for the quota of licenses that are issued in the area. So I don't know, as far as I know, Mesilla is over the quota and has been over the quota for many years, but if that's not the guideline, that should be not a guideline that should be in place at all. So with that, I think it's something that should be given into consideration and checked out before any licenses be issued, and that the property is in full conformance to what it was redesignated and designed to meet, and that it meets all the development standards and regulations, because it is an all new as-built project. And so those are things that I think should be taken into consideration before the issuing of any license, just to make sure everybody's on the safe side. And even though the town of Mesilla doesn't do compaction inspections and stuff like that, and the state of New Mexico is, we should have had some type of a clearance that that was a buildable lot. And that building should have been on an approved plot plan, and the plot plan should have reflected that that is built on one lot, not two. And that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Mr. Alexander was the only person that stood up for public comment for this public hearing. But I will say, if there is any other public comment, I'll still keep the floor open. Okay. If there is no other public, here goes here. If there is no other public comment, then we will close this public hearing. So with no other public comment, the time is now 5:19, and the public hearing is closed. As I had mentioned earlier, this was only for public comment, wishing to speak on the case for the liquor license being proposed at liquor license number 1454 for 1705 here in the Mesilla, submitted by Ariane de Mesilla. And this is in the general commercial zone. We did hear the public comment this evening. No formal action to be made here in this meeting. And the questions by the Board of Trustees will be have the potential during the regularly scheduled meeting. So with that, the public hearing is closed. As stated on the agenda, our regularly scheduled Board of Trustees meeting will immediately follow the public hearing. So the time is now 5:20. We are here at the Mesilla Town Hall for our regularly scheduled Board of Trustees meeting. Our first order of business for our regular meeting is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'll please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next order of business is roll call and determination of a quorum. Gloria, if you would please. Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson Burek.
Here.
Trustee Garcia.
Here.
Trustee Nevares.
Present.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much for that, Ms. Gloria. There, I will note that Trustee Cadena did mention that she would be out on vacation and not available for the next couple of weeks. So that's why she is not present. Next item on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Trustee Nevares, seconded by Trustee Garcia. And unless there's discussion or objection, the motion will carry as it has been presented. Thank you very much for approval of the agenda as it has been presented. Next item on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda that does include our BOT meeting minutes from January 26, 2026. Purchase order for Able Sign Company for entry sign replacement in the amount of $15,550. And a purchase order for CES Milestone Contracting for our public safety building upgrades with the parking canopy in the amount of $59,799.25.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Nevares. And unless there is discussion or objection, that motion will carry as it has been presented.
I have a question.
Trustee Garcia.
On the purchases of the signs, what are they gonna look like?
So this is the process that we went through. Oh my gosh, this has been a couple months ago, where we had an ad hoc committee that created or worked on the look of the sign. This is for the one in Veterans Park. It's basically a similar design to what it is, just a little bit taller than what it is, and a little bit more vibrant, matching the uniform colors of the blue and yellows that we have in a lot of the other signage in that. And then that followed through and going through the process of being approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission, as well as the Board of Trustees. So this is just the formal getting the contractor going and getting the project going. Same for the public safety building canopy.
Oh, okay, so residents have seen the signs and everybody's seen it? Okay.
Yes, it was, and I can bring that forward as well in the future. That way you have that or send
I
that.
will,
to
yeah, because if you guys did things before my time, I'm gonna be asking questions, so as long as it's in there,
Yes.
I,
And it was in the April board packet.
Was it April?
April.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Trust- or Mayor Pro Tem.
if you don't mind, please. Thank you.
You got it.
I can't remember which meeting.
I will send that to you. Then I'll actually, under current projects on the town website, I'll also post that. That way,
I appreciate that, thank you.
Team knows that. Any other questions, trustees? As there was discussion, there is a motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Nevadas. And if there is no further discussion, Gloria, if you can roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson Hubert,
Yes.
trustee Nevares,
Yes.
trustee Garcia,
Yes,
Mayor, the roll call is 3 yes.
Great. Thank you very much for approval of the consent agenda, which does include the BOT meeting minutes for January 26, 2026, the purchase order for Able Sign Company, and the purchase order for CES Milestone Contracting. Next item on the agenda is a presentation. Give me just 1 minute. You can pass them down. Thank you. And this for physical copy as well. This is that, sorry. You're waiting on me. All right, we have, so I did three presentations in one, because they all kind of tie into each other, and I thought it would be great to kind of go through all of these together. We just attended our legislative session and in Santa Fe last week for the Municipal League, as well as Municipal Days. Had the opportunity to speak with some of our legislators, spend some time in the Roundhouse. Good time overall, and great things happening. But I want to share even more because there's questions that have kind of arisen, so I want to go through some clarifying as well and in this process for our legislative session and how it applies to capital outlay. So in our capital outlay request in specific, our 2026 and 2027 requests, our top 11 list, which this was done through last year through the budgeting process, and I'll explain a little bit more in detail on that process and how we get to these. But I do want to note on here our specific requests. This is top 11, can be as many as we want to try to have for the town, but this seemed like it was the dual for the town in there. So what we have is our historic inventory update, SEBA packs, which are the breathing apparatuses for the fire department, town hall upgrades, which does include the community and civic space, as well as public safety space for the town hall, security upgrades for the town hall, water system upgrades, that do include our water well and water tank. Visitor center upgrades, which we worked a little bit on last year and have some conceptuals to kind of give a basis to move some ideas forward. The University Trail enhancements, which were discussed throughout multiple meetings, McDowell resurfacing along those lines, since the university project is happening right now as well. Kaiser widening, drainage improvements, Paisano reconstruction, and generalized roadway improvements. With that, I do want to note, because the questions have kind of come out specifically, and excuse my chicken scratch on there, but in here, the questions kind of are asked on how do you decide what is asked of the legislators. So what I have found over the past couple of years for me is that the legislators have requested always to have your top 3 initiatives or plans for capital requests listed specifically, and those are your top 3 requests that you, if they get funded, that's what you're requesting for. So those are our top 3 priorities in our ICIP. The other 11 projects that we have planned throughout and want to ask specifically, we can also ask through capital funding through our legislators if there is an availability of extra funding, or maybe the ranking may change by the time the session happens between when we approve the budget in July and get it fully input, and when the session is heard in January. Because needs do change, so we can always adjust those. But what we also have is in planning for all of our capital projects, as you see here, is planning to happen we're planning in specific to get these funds or funding through other funding sources. So we have our security access control upgrades to be taken care of through our town hall fund in specific, which is a fund that's internal that we have already been setting aside money within our own budget to do some upgrades to the town hall. So that security upgrades are in play for that. The Mesilla water well and the new well, as well as the tank, is being looked at through the Colonias Infrastructure Fund, which that application is open now. So we will be submitting that. The visitor center upgrades are through a grant through the tourism department. We made the request last year and we'll continue to make a request this year. University trail enhancements are through outdoor recreation department. Any road projects are through, or this road project for McDowell is through our TPF or our Transportation Project Fund that is handled through the NPO, through the town or the Metropolitan Planning Organization. Sorry, I get used to saying some of these acronyms, which I apologize for if we're not familiar with them. I'll try to call them out as they are. And then our Kaya to Serve widening and drainage improvements is going to be sought after for capital outlay as well as TPF funding. Paisano road reconstruction is through the TPF, and that was actually received, so we will be getting that reconstruction started here very soon. We do have extra funding that has been received for roadway improvements throughout the town. So through the Public Works Department, as well as through planning, we're strategically looking at the road systems and the highest needs areas in order to get those completed. Kaya Colon reconstructed through our local government road fund. And then these are projects into this next year that we're going to be looking at and continuing. We did apply for the Kaya Colon last year through local government road fund, but we did have a deficiency within the application that we ensured that we were getting that taken care of this year to hopefully have some extra funding through the Department of Transportation for this. So that's kind of how the planning works out in a lot of this. So our capital outlay and our capital requests that we make with our legislators up in Santa Fe are specific targeted funds that we're looking at as town needs that cannot necessarily be filled with other funding sources and opportunities when we're going through this. So in particular, one thing that was said in this last session and during the meetings that we had in Santa Fe with the municipal league, AJ Forty, who's the director for the municipal league, made sure to point out that any water infrastructure funds that are requested through capital outlay in specific will be denied because there is a lot of funding that is available through many other grant opportunities and sources throughout the entire state. So they don't want to tie up capital funding specifically with those requests when there's requests in funding that is unspent where we can make those requests. So in the future, that's what we're going to be doing, planning for all of, not just as we have here with the water system, but anytime we look at redoing a road, we're going to look at the water system that's under that, not just fresh water, but also wastewater, and see if we can get wastewater improvements throughout this entire town. Since that funding availability is built in through other funding opportunities for the town. So that's what I wanted to throw that out there for our priorities for this fiscal year, and then how that is. So as I mentioned, our top three capital requests that we've had this last year are historic inventory update, the SEBA packs upgrades for the fire department, and then town hall upgrades. That is, as I mentioned, the community and civic space, which we did receive federal funding from federal legislators to help get that going, and then the public safety upgrades were the main requests in this current session on that town hall upgrade. So I asked the trustees this specific question: is how much has been funded through capital outlay in the past? Can you recall? And since you've been on the board, I know it changes year to year, right? But
We get about 3 to 5 projects all the time. I don't say, but I don't say how much.
depends on the project.
Yeah, depends on the project.
I cannot remember.
And it does change from year to year. And so I know I can speak on the past couple of years of the funding that we have received. So in 2024, we did receive a total of $475,000 in capital funding. In 2025, last year we received $830,000 in total funding. This year, with the help and support of our communities, we are slated to potentially receive $4.8 million in capital funding in there. And this is what we won't know the total. I say slated because we won't know the total until all of those funding sources have been signed into law and approved by the governor. So we're continually working on these programs and building the needs for the town. And as you see here, the potential of what we will be receiving is growing and growing and growing year after year. So thank you to everybody that's involved in that. But I think it's important to note and ask, how's this accomplished? So we determine the projects that are needed for our community. We do a needs assessment through the entire budgeting process, working with our department heads, finding out what the needs are for each department, if there's specific needs, working with our community and community engagement events and holding those, finding out what the community needs, and then of course working with the trustees and closely through the budgeting process and creating that. The needs assessment also is going to be generalized and created through the comprehensive plan actions that were done. So I do have, we worked on that prior to the beginning of this year, and we'll be getting a little bit more feedback from the trustees on that, and we'll be bringing that forward as those listings, as potential plans and actions that may cost extra money and need implementation or even looking after certain grant funding. These are pictures of that I wanted to share as well from this past week from our meetings in Santa Fe. Trustee Garcia as well as Trustee Cadena joined myself in the roundhouse on Thursday morning in particular, going around and seeing our legislators that were available. Many were in committees and other meetings, but we did catch quite a few of them. You also see members of our finance team here. We did get a picture here with Representative Cadena, who is our representative for our district here in Mesilla. And then we do have other members of our team that went up. The finance team went up to help to support. And you have a picture here with Senator Hamlin, with members of our finance team who went up while the trustees and I were in meetings with the municipal league. They handed out, the finance team handed out baskets that were created by the community to all of our legislators within Doña Ana. So 18 total baskets, including baskets to the legislators here, a few legislators in Sierra County, and then our governor and lieutenant governor received a Mesilla-specific basket as a thank you for everything that they do. To continue how this is accomplished, I think that it's important to note that the relationships with our local legislators is highly important. So it's not just the elected that going up and having these relationships or the team members that go up, but it's our residents. Every person who deals with any of our legislators or has a connection with our legislators, we always open those conversations and we have discussions on what our needs are and as well as what makes our community tick and why our community is special. So the more that we share that is great. We do communicate these needs to legislators early throughout the process. So myself, as well as the team, once we get these priorities started with capital outlay through the budget process, that's when those conversations truly do start ahead of time. And no, we're not waiting until the last minute when the legislators receive their funding, that they're hearing about these projects that we need. We start those conversations early in the game. We do presentations with the Council of Governments directly with the legislators. And then of course, as I've already mentioned, we have these conversations in person during the session with our team. When constituents stop by, I saw many residents as well as other stakeholders throughout the entire, in the roundhouse, the entire time that I was up in Santa Fe, the multiple times the past couple of days or weeks. And it's just great to see everybody all the way around and have this was, I will note, this was a year where we did have two of the other electeds, Trustee Garcia as well as Trustee Cadena, that were in the roundhouse as well. So it was great to have the other elected team there in addition to everybody. So hopefully we can get the whole city up there or the town in the future. But I just want to say thank you more than anything to everybody in our community. We all play our part. We'd not be able to do it without a well-known and sought-after community with active residents, staff, and elections. So thank you on that side. Are there any questions on the session and where we're at?
Yes, two questions. Can you let the residents know how much each one on the first top three that we're going for, please?
Yes. Yes. So our top three is, pull this up here because we did a presentation. This was a presentation we did I shared here as well during a community meeting. So when we look at it, our request, the historic inventory, our top three historic inventory update. This one, as you see here, $150,000 estimated total cost in that. Our SEBA packs, estimated total cost $396, and I'll drive down a little bit more on some of these numbers. Let's go back to the number one request was the historic inventory update. So that has a total cost of $150,000 to visit our historic inventory and to do the update on the inventory, recognizing our historic properties through the town and strengthening those historic properties and inventories throughout the entire community. The SEBA packs in particular, 396 is the total cost. We have a secured funding amount of 115,000 of that within our current budget. The fire chief was exploring alternate funding potentials to kind of offset some of that cost. So our total capital request was $281,000 on that. Our town hall request for the town hall complex additions and what we have going on here. Total estimated cost, $9.123 or $9.1 million. We did have a secured funding to date of $758,000. The tentative funding from the federal side was actually secured, and I just received a grant agreement on that last week, and $2 million. Other potential government funding for backfill is about $1.5 million. That does include other agreements. Our total capital request was $4.865 million in that. So those are the total numbers that were requested in this. So we're looking at a total of in the three capital projects, a little over $5 million total dollars in capital requests that we did for that. And as I had mentioned previously, we are slated right now for, as of right now, for $4.8 million.
Who picks the top three?
It's all through the process of what we do through the budget process. So trustee, you'll get ready to go through that in the upcoming budget session.
Okay, let me let you guys know, when we go to Santa Fe, in the past we've done it, and I know trustee Cadena saw it when we were up there. When we went to go see Representative Cadena, she told us, like, the fire department tax, she would pay for half, and then she's like, is Hamlin gonna pay the other half? So then you have to go to Hamlin to let them know that Cadena is gonna pay half, and she's willing to pay the other half. So that's where we're running back and forth to see how, and you're sitting there for hours, because you can only get them either for, I think we chased Cadena while she was voting. She took us downstairs while she was voting. Then she come and talked to us, and then she went for a vote, and then she came back, and then back and back. So it is a lot of walking, and there's a lot of running around, and then we ended up upstairs with her, and we ended up sitting with her, and then she was leaving, and she's like, I'm only paying half. Yeah, I can provide you guys with half, is so-and-so, and we'll pay the other half. And then you have to get permission from that one, and then you gotta go back and tell her, and then they pull up a board, and they say so-and-so, so-and-so. So it is a lot of running around. So don't think we're not working. So, I mean, but I can say for Cadena that the PAC, she did tell us that she's willing to, but again, it comes up to the governor, doesn't veto it and says, no, she's not gonna let them use that money for it. And so she has the last signing of it. But they did reach, they are willing to help us. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, trustee.
Yeah, I'm correct, right? That's good.
Right, and that's it. I mean, we had already through the meetings that we had with through the COG as well as beforehand, we gave our legislators the list of those top three items. So they knew beforehand kind of what our top three requests were going to be. It's just until, as Trustee Garcia mentioned, until that House bill that specifically has, I think it's House Bill 2, until that has all the capital potential projects in it, until that is out of committee, then they are not able to commit to a total dollar amount for each legislator that they are able to give out to their entire community or to their district, if you will. So
We got there, they haven't approved it yet, huh?
what's that?
When we got there, they haven't approved it.
Right, so
On the Friday.
when we got there, the anticipation, and that's why it's always great from experience in the past, that in this, is that during the week of municipal days, when the municipal league holds that time frame, that's typically right when capital outlay is approved through the legislator, and it gives us the opportunity to move forward and to make those requests. And really drive down on that, and the legislators know when that was. So I anticipated, as well as the rest of the team and everybody else, that was going to be the case this year as well. And going up on Wednesday, we were hoping that it would already be approved because it's a very quick turnaround time as well from when that funding is dropped and allocated to when the legislators have to divvy out all of how their fundings are going to be shared amongst the entire community. So by the time we got up there, I got up there on Tuesday for some other meetings, and I was talking with House leadership about the capital bills and when that was going to be funded, and they said they were still working out the details, and they didn't know for sure. Wednesday wasn't, it wasn't. That's when Trustee Garcia and Trustee Cadena came up, and then Thursday morning, right as we were going into the roundhouse, they had done and approved that, so that we were able to make the strong pitch for our needs, and then to do that, and then it's confirmed, that at least the legislators know our main needs, and then they had until Saturday to fully get their list turned in back over to Legislative Council Services. So it's a very, very quick turnaround. I will note that also that one of the meetings that the trustees as well as the staff missed out on this year, unfortunately, was a meeting with the governor, and that's where I had to come back up this past Tuesday and met. It was a quick up and back, but met with her, and so that's where a majority of that backfill potential of millions of dollars is coming from.
We didn't miss it, we didn't get invited.
Well, it's a quick.
Okay, but we didn't miss it, we didn't get invited.
Yeah, it's a quick trip up and back, so. Literally.
We didn't get invited.
Well, I'll remember to invite you to that next year then on that. I left here at 3:30, almost 4 in the morning, and then was back down here to meet with at the community center with long-term and aging at 3 in the afternoon. So it's a fun up and back.
I've done it before.
I know.
So I said, no, we didn't miss it.
I'll keep you in the loop then.
Yeah, I will never miss a meeting in Santa Fe, I'll tell you guys right now. Never have.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you, trustee. Any other questions? Trustees? Thank you again to everybody, because everybody plays their part, and it's absolutely amazing. So continuing on in this, so we do have our budget planning that I do want to give, and that's another page that was handed out to you. So we are starting all of our budget planning, and as I've done in the past, I want to make sure that we give everybody the ample opportunity and the information that's out here. So these are, as you see, the month and the dates, along with the specific item that's going to be completed, the departments that are responsible, and that does include the trustees in there as well. So this is what we're looking at through all of these products in here. So the ones in particular, as I mentioned, in going down through all of this, we'll be holding all of the initial and going through revenue projections, position controls, all of the budgeted for each department and driving down on each department needs specifically. And then we will work through a couple of work sessions, which I'll schedule out and have on a separate sheet for the Board of Trustees to work on the capital plan and really drive down on all of these priority planning more than anything. So that's where we're going to be working on a lot of the capital outlay requests in specific and our ICIP. So trustees, this is where you'll have the opportunity as well to interject new projects, take out projects, and just give priority needs to all of this, along with community engagement, as I mentioned, as well as the needs assessments that come from the departments as we have done in the past. Our overall goal is to get this completed and finalize everything by the end of May with a preliminary submission to DFA. If we can get it done before then and have it submitted by the 11th of May, that will be the ultimate goal, to get it taken care of then. And then that gives the staff time to get everything adjusted and uploaded as necessary as are due to the state. But this is the overall plan of these dates, so that you all have them. Any questions so far?
I have one, sorry. On the budget wise, do we go and talk to our department heads, who the ones that we're in charge of, to see what their budget's at, or do we just have to do it on our own?
So you can most definitely. You can work with your as a liaison. You can work with your department to find out the needs and to especially when it relies on any type of budgets, and you can relay that. They're typically relaying that as well. I do, as you see there on April 6th and the 13th, I do have planned specific departmental driven budget reviews in where their department is presently within the current budget. And then looking at what the plans are for capital, if there are any capital needs, as well as any potential for growth or capacity that we're looking at, which we do have a couple of positions that we are adding into capacity this year.
Oh, thank you.
Does that help out? Mm-hmm. But please do, I encourage you to have those communications with as a department liaison. Any other questions? And then I do have there, as it was shared earlier, our current listing. You do have the current list of ICIP projects, which is the capital improvement plan, or infrastructure and capital improvement plan is what ICIP stands for. And this is for fiscal year 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. So these are all of our current projects that we have listed in our system. And this is posted on the website as well for residents to review. But also, we want to plan out as much as possible. So as please be thinking about all the roads as well as water infrastructure that we need. And let's get them on a list and let's get it planned out, because there's a lot that we need. But we want to make sure that we're working together as a team to get the highest needs areas that are first, where we have for like roads in particular, where we might have excessive potholes or the road is degrading and bumpy or just needs full replacement. Maybe it has been 20, 30 years when that last road was redone. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we can also revisit what it looks like to have water infrastructure done along those areas as well. And then, of course, for other water infrastructure areas are those areas that are not within a loop or have access to a loop, or where there might be the need for fire hydrant replacement or fire hydrant fire hydrants being installed, because I know that the fire chief has noted that there are a few gaps in potential coverage throughout the town. So those are going to be high needs that we're going to be looking at in the future for capital. So and as such, so that's where we're at with that. So keep those in mind and take this list and add to it. And let's definitely plan on what that looks like. And don't be afraid, because the team as well as myself will go after any funding that might be available for the town to try to get these projects done. So, especially there's a bunch that I've been getting emails from the team on lately for historic preservation. So, well, it's kind of exciting on that part. Any questions? No? All right. Thank you, trustees. I appreciate it. Next item on our agenda, item number 6 is public input on the cases to be heard this evening. So if the public has any input on the cases to be heard, if you would step to the podium and state your name for the record, please.
Thank you. My name is Michael Langford, and I'm here to make some public comments about Resolution 2026-04, please. And I have copies of, if you need copies of what I'm saying. I'll keep it brief. I want to say that on Resolution number 2026-04, the blacksmith shop, and as the closest neighbor to that property, I ask that you approve the resolution. Every morning I sit out, drink my coffee, and watch the building deteriorate. And I've talked to people and I've tried to figure out how can we save this. And now all of a sudden we have an opportunity in front of us to do it. Let's do it, please. Okay, relative to the plan document or that is installed, that is attached, section 3D, I am concerned about the mixed use, including a large parking area. Given that the mixed use may include outdoor equipment and educational, recreational facilities to include children, a large open parking area may be needlessly hazardous. So make controls for children, please. And in section 4B of that document, see the above comments. It's another emphasis on the land use. Section 5A, as the town of Mesilla, our town, has a stated interest in resident involvement. And as the closest resident, and I'm retired, and I have a master's degree in urban and regional planning, I ask that you consider me for the advisory committee. And for this purpose, I am providing you with my contact information, which includes my mailing address, my telephone number, and my email address. And I thank you very much for your time and look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Langford.
Trina Witter. First, I'd like to thank whoever the current owners are for their very generous donation and recognizing the importance of the Guerra blacksmith shop. I fully support the town, and I hope that you vote yes on accepting the blacksmith shop. It's a building very worthy of preservation and is an important part of Mesilla history. However, like the gentleman that spoke earlier, I do have reservations about the agenda item 7C as presented in the packet, which includes a photo or drawing of parking all around the building. I think more thought and public input should be provided. So if there is a way to either amend item 7C to allow for some more flexibility and public input in that. We recently got a whole bunch of parking around the park already by the community center. I'd rather see more green space and, minimize the parking there. And anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Schroeder.
Hardworking trustees, Mary Helen Taylor Ricci. I am totally in support of renovating that space. From what I'm understanding is that is an old plan that possibly was put there, and I'm sure you guys will clarify that in the past. And it is not something that's definite as far as what's going to happen. I know that we have been very good at an ad hoc committee and people like Michael who are willing to serve on that committee and give input. So my mother, Mary Daniels Taylor, has an iconic photo of Mr. Guerra sitting in front of the blacksmith shop smoking his cigar. That is part of the Rio Grande historical collection photos. So I just think it is an amazing situation that the donors have provided for the town. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ricci. Any other public comment? Seeing as there is no other public comment, we'll move on to our next order of business. Item 7A under new business, approval of liquor license number 1454-1705 Tierra de Mesilla, submitted by El Parian de Mesilla, requesting approval to sell alcohol at this location in the general commercial zone.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Nevadas. We will open it up for discussion with background from Mr. Salazar.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, we just had the hearing, but I'll do a recap. I know Mayor Pro Tem Johnson Beard arrived a little bit late. But anyway, this is a liquor license 1454-1705 Tierra de Mesilla, was submitted by El Parian de Mesilla, requesting approval for to sell liquor, alcohol at this location. The zone is general commercial. Mr. and Mrs. Blanca and Cesar Huizar is seeking approval to sell alcohol at this future restaurant, El Parian de Mesilla. An application has been submitted to the state RLD regulations and beverage regulations licensing department, and also division alcohol beverage control division. And we have received a letter from them, a pre-approval letter, which is generally it's the process, what happens. We did receive a preliminary approval letter stating that, and outlining the requirements that need to be set forth to hold this hearing. That one we just had. We did abide by all the notices and all the postings. And Mr. Huizar hasn't fully developed all his floor plans yet, so they're still in the process of doing so. Once this hearing is done or is considered and he does receive an approval, then Ms. Huizar is responsible, along with Mesilla, to contact the state with a certified letter, giving them the outcome of this hearing, and also he will be required also to finish the floor plans and work with the state to outline where the alcohol beverages will be sold. So I would like to respond a little bit about the concerns that Mr. Christopher Alexander had earlier during his public comments. Along with that, the property that is the building is in now did receive a permit, building permit, a zoning permit through the commission, also through the board of trustees. Before that happened, the properties did a summary subdivision to join those three properties, so that the building does not cross property lines. We are aware of that. We were aware of that. We did have various, matter of fact, there's 3 work sessions with the commission and also with the review committee, so that we outlined that part. The approval that was received from the board of trustees was the approval for the exterior part of the shell and the parking lot and all extremities. So that's why we are continuing to work with the inside. There was floor plans that were submitted, but again, it hasn't been finalized. So the concern for that, that has been resolved a while back. Also, the concern with the property and where the notices were posted, that again, that is because that property was combined out, that is one single property. So the signs one was facing towards Avenida de Mesilla and the other was facing towards Tierra de Mesilla. The purpose for that again is because there's more traffic along Tierra de Mesilla Avenida de Mesilla than Tierra de Mesilla, but it is at one property. That building that is currently on there right now, the existing one was Casablanca, that is 1705. There was a letter sent to the county on January 7th for an address for 1705B, which is the building that's being constructed right now. What else other concerns were there? Again, summary subdivision, the approval was for the shell. CID is on top. I do talk to Tom a lot. Mr. Maese from New Mexico CID division is regarding the inspections and such of that building. So again, the concerns for communicating with CID and seeing where we're going and what needs to get done is happening. But again, like I mentioned to Mr. Alexander before the meeting, that it's not our purview to regulate or check plans that are stamped engineered. That's not our expertise. So that's why we have New Mexico CID to review those plans and give us the thumbs up and signature when they are met. And that is all I have. I'd like to invite you guys. Have anything to say? Any comments or anything like that? You guys good? Okay, I now stand by, Mayor, trustees, for any questions.
I have a couple questions. Sorry. So let's start with the New Mexico Regulation License and Department. It says, so did they correct the proposed location? The proposed location is 1705 Tierra de Mesilla. It does not say Suite B.
Correct.
So if it's 1705 Tierra de Mesilla, that's a ambience, that whole lot, right?
Correct. Right now, the county has those papers, again, January 17th, but the property is still one parcel, right?
So-
That's why it's 1705 under the Doña Ana County parcel map is taxes, when they pay taxes, is still one.
I'm asking about the liquor license.
Got it.
It's 1705.
Mhm.
So we need approving that whole lot?
We
But
are,
that's not the application. So what this application from the
yes,
has and their application that they submitted to the town of Mesilla are two different addresses.
correct. Right now, because it is the one lot, it holds both buildings, that is considered one location, right? So yes, the answer is yes, we are approving the lot, the location itself, and not so much the building. Once he gets the approval from Mesilla and going through RLD, they will outline along with the floor plans and what area of that property that is being licensed, right? So it's like, if we give a license, for instance, vintage wine or any other one, and then they want to start, and then they have one on the outside, it's still the same property, but they don't have authority to sell outside the building. But you're approving the location and not so much the building itself. So the
you
answer
can
is,
sell alcohol also at that other
You-
store that-
again, it depends on the board, the governing board that make that determination, right? But the whenever you do the application, it's for the parcel itself. The location is 1705 Tierra de Mesilla.
Well, so clarification, just because I have a liquor license and I have this restaurant B liquor license that they're going for. So a couple of things to note as well. So the restaurant B license, because I know it was brought up earlier with the question about the number of licenses. The restaurant B license is not tied to the number of licenses. That would be a full liquor license.
Oh, no.
While this is a full liquor license, it's not applicable to that. The alcohol regulation did change a couple of years ago as well to where it is the licensed premise. And with it being a licensed premise, it's at the address that the building is located at. So it can be that entire property as a whole because of new regulations that have passed within the liquor code in specific. But if it is anywhere outside of a building per se, it has to be contained within by having fences, walls, and contained within that property as a whole. So that did change a couple of years ago. So and I know that on that liquor license in particular. So clarification on that point there too.
Well, I guess my question is there's two buildings there now, right? You got A, you got B. So the application shows we're approving for B. But the application on the liquor license says 1705 Tierra de Mesilla. It does not say, it doesn't specify, thank you, B. It just says that whole, I have concern with that. The whole thing.
Mayor, if I may.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I
I
understand.
understand what you're saying, but I'm not understanding what we're approving is suite B, but the liquor license is saying the whole address.
Correct.
And there's two buildings on it.
Correct.
So are we approving, it's a conflict?
No, that's why, Mayor, if I may, that's why I mentioned that the license, when he filled it out, or she filled it out for the state. It wasn't, we were not involved with that. They filled that out. Now, again, as Mayor mentioned, is for the premises, the location itself. Now, once he comes here, we make the determination, do we give it a B because there's two buildings? Do we only allow on the inside? So that's why these hearings are held. So that way we can determine that, and just in case those situations do come about, just in case that property has a whole plaza full of them, right? It's just because it is on one parcel. That's why it was submitted that way according to the RLD. And we are saying, okay, we're accepting the preliminary approval, but we are labeling 17B through our application process because that's the only building that we are considering to allow that.
And to kind of get on what Eddie's getting at too, is when you go to page 16 of the packet on here, you have a picture of the entire property.
Right.
And so it does have the property as a whole with the main structure, the auxiliary structure, all of the parking, so on and so forth. But when you go to page 17, it has the layout of the building in specific. So alcohol and gaming, or alcohol beverage control now, or what they're called, is going to be looking at the building, and that is what alcohol and beverage control is going to allow the alcohol to be served in. Anything outside of those four walls would need to meet the requirements of alcohol and beverage controls requirements per the code. They would still have to have fencing that has a gate, or however that may be, as an enclosed area that continues into one space, such as a patio, outdoor space. So the second area that's auxiliary could be included out there as a potential patio space, as long as it meets the requirements of that specific section of the code. Does that make sense?
It does. I'm just concerned that what we have is, I totally understand it. It's B. But with the liquor license, it's the whole partial. That's what's, and the other minor one is Town of Mesilla, Cynthia. She's been gone for how many years?
Well, that's what alcohol and gaming has on file. Though.
Yeah,
So,
if we can, don't mind, we need to update that, please. But I don't know, it's just a concern.
And I guess, I understand because what you said, that the whole property is one. But my concern also is that it's not specific in the license itself, saying which building. And so we approve it, both buildings can have it. And then say they do want to start selling alcohol out of the A location. It states right here that even if the governing body fails to either approve or disapprove the issuance or transfer of the license within 30 days after the public hearing, the director may issue the license. So the way I'm seeing that, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, that we don't approve it, that they can come back and still sell out of both buildings because it can be approved by the director. That's what it says here.
If I may, what section that you're reading is the 30 to 45 days and approved by the director. That is if you don't have a meeting within that allotted time, then the director can go ahead and approve it, right? We need to schedule this meeting and give the applicant that due diligence. So again, the meeting is just not approved or yes or no. It's not a yes or no meeting when it comes to alcohol. There's regulations that we set as a town, as a municipality, that we set for this liquor license that ABC or RLD is going to consider or going to take into the requirements. RLD or liquor license requires for the application to be applied for the location, as the mayor mentioned. That's why it's 1705. 1705 is the location. We just don't say yes or no. We say yes with the condition it's going to be on this building. It can't be outside, the business hours or anything like that. That's what they just don't need a yes or no answer. I guess that's why. So we're open to whatever, or you guys should consider whatever requirements you need to impose.
What you're saying is that we can approve the liquor license for the property, but then have conditions.
Correct, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
But again, they're going to have a liquor license for where the restaurant's going to be. Within
Yes.
that 4 walls, as the mayor indicated.
Correct. It's not, right now, it's not going to be outside.
Could they gate off? I mean, I'm just supposing here, because I don't know what
Mhm.
their plans are. But they could have a gated area where a person would buy a drink here and then walk over to the other part of the property. No.
Well, you will set those termination.
I mean,
And I'm sure because they can't drink outside in the balcony unless it's enclosed, there will be something that will be, again, determined by this governing board.
Well, I think it's important to note that, and trust me, I know liquor laws in and out because I deal with them daily, quite literally. But with the licensing as well is so where it extends out into a patio area or into that fenced area, there does have to be tables and apparatuses for guests to partake in that so it can't just be
walking
in an open space walking around.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they could ultimately, but there also has to be seating within those areas that's intertwined within whatever's there. And that is a regulation through and stipulation through alcohol beverages.
So we wouldn't be deciding that tonight. We just approve the liquor license, but something else would change based on, and they would go to the approval process with the
Through
ABC.
alcohol and beverage.
Yeah. Okay, so
Correct.
strictly the liquor license, not what could potentially come afterwards. I mean, does that make sense? Because I know some establishments that put temporary fencing for certain events, and so that and they can serve, like one of our fiestas, and there was beer on but there was fenced off area with tables and things. So that has been done.
Right, and that's a separate application
Yeah,
process
so-
and an approval process through the state.
As I said, tonight, we're just approving the liquor license for this address. Everything else can be determined and approved as they're proposed, correct, in the future. We're not approving anything for the future in the other parts of the other building.
But we need to make that a condition. Yeah, on our
I
motion.
think it is important to make it clear.
Yes,
that-
but what I understand from trustee Nevadas is if we approve this, can they take that liquor license to 1705 Suite 8? Because of how the liquor license, can they sell alcohol? at 1705?
Now you've set that condition. That's why, that's why we set this.
We have that condition, but it's also subject to change if we follow the state laws, right?
Yeah, it depends what this, if the state statute changes, then remember, we can be more stringent, just not more
But
flexible.
the condition could be that that should there be any changes to the serving of alcohol beyond the 4 walls, and that they follow
Yeah, that,
established state
course.
law.
now I would like for the applicant to comment on that because, I mean, that's something we haven't discussed. I mean, they would need
No, but
some
those
comment.
are things-
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's brought up because it's
Hmm?
for the whole property.
Correct.
So I would like to make motion with a condition that the liquor license apply only to 1705B.
Second.
And so a condition on the floor for the liquor license to apply only to the structure at 1705B by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Garcia. Is there any further discussion on the condition?
Does that, they would have to go backwards to the liquor license then?
To do a transfer.
Yes, correct. Mr. Mayor, if I may, I would like to request also the governing board consider the condition that the applicant will return paperwork from RLD after all the floor plans and the final approval from them established.
Oh, I thought that was just the standard.
You have to request them from the applicant. When New Mexico RLD approves that application, unless you request it, they just approve it. So I usually request it, so make sure we get them.
I mean, because I thought it still has to come back for us with all the signatures.
Correct. Well, that's what I'm asking. But as soon as, if you approve it here, then when it goes to the RLD and they get the final approval, they already have a liquor license because we already set all the conditions. And that's what I'm saying, because he hasn't have a floor plan yet, is for it to come back to make sure that we finish seeing the remainder of the plans. So that's one. If you can include that in the condition.
Yeah, and like I said, I thought we still have to approve, with the fire inspection.
Yeah, that's the building. Yeah, that's, yes, that's still happening. But this is for liquor.
Okay, yeah,
It's for liquor.
so,
Basically, that we get the paperwork back from ABC.
okay,
So,
so
go ahead.
I'd like to add to my previous,
Well, you either, because it is for the current right now, so you did make the motion, so you can amend as such.
I'd like to amend my previous motion to include, to state that the liquor license only applies to the structure at 1705B, and that once the paperwork is received from ABC, the floor plans, that they be brought to the board as well
For final approval.
for final approval.
Correct.
Second.
And I have a question. We were looking at these conditions. But if in the future they wanted to kind of expand, they would have to go through another process.
Yeah, they will have to first go through the whole process and then submit to.
I mean, they still have options for the future. They're not restricted that they can't set up a sitting area somewhere. And
Yes.
use the same liquor license.
It's for the same liquor license.
Yeah,
It was just in case they want to put a
I
balcony.
just want to make clear that we approve it with the conditions that they still have options for the future. They want to do something else, because it's a developing business. I mean, so obviously they need to be able to look at future kind of
Sure.
projects, including anything dealing with the liquor
Yeah,
license.
makes
We don't
sense.
want to restrict them from any. I mean,
Right,
from a
for future growth and
future,
development,
yes, and our considerations.
yes.
Because it's this is a unique experience for Miss Young, and kind of develop, I think, as we move forward. So I just want to make sure we're not restricting them in the future. They can still have the options to,
Sure.
but they need to go through the process. So I understand that.
And Mayor, I forgot to include Tierra de Mesilla. 1705B Tierra de Mesilla. Cross my mind.
So there is a motion on the floor with condition by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Garcia. Any further discussion on that condition as it has been recorded for only the structure at 1705B Tierra de Mesilla and the paperwork we received from ABC and for the floor plans and as well as the documentation showing such before the board. Or we can roll call vote on that condition.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson Burek,
Yes.
trustee Garcia,
Yes.
trustee Nevada,
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
Mayor, the roll call is 3 yes.
We're back to the original motion on the floor for approval of a liquor license of 1454 at 1705 Guerra de Mesilla. Is there any further discussion? Seeing as there's no further discussion, motion on the floor to approve with condition by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Nevada's. Laura, if you can roll call vote on that with condition.
Trustee Nevada,
Yes.
trustee Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson Burek,
Yes.
Mayor, the roll call is 3 yes.
Great, thank you very much for approval of the liquor license 1454 with conditions noted.
Mayor, I would like to say I'm actually looking forward to reading and reviewing the business plan this evening when we get out of here. I have to. It's Thursday.
Soon after
Yeah.
the establishment.
Yeah.
Next item on the agenda is approval of resolution 2026-04, property at the address of 2380 Calle de Picacho.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Garcia. We'll open it up for discussion.
Go ahead. Trustee, please.
I just want to say before we start, hold on 1 second, is that this is a property that is of high interest through all of our community meetings for and by our community. And so that it is advantageous for us to be adding it to our inventory of real property for the town. In that, we will be incurring increased costs that we'll look at through this budget session on that, but we will budget accordingly for such things. But I just want to say that side, the donor does want to stay completely anonymous. With the donation as well, because it is a full donation. In the deed, the current owner does have the ability to give direction on the property, and some of that direction does come through what has been created through this historic preservation plan. Some of his requests, well, the main requests of what, not some, the main requests of what he has are in there. And the main key things being that it be reviewed and a committee is formed to help with determination on how that moves forward. That the property be utilized, that the building itself be restored, and that it be utilized for educational purposes or for community engagement that enhances and shows more of the historic value of the town. And then one of the other requests was that it does include parking. But I will go into detail once we get into the next item. So I do want to make that noted.
Okay, so at this point, we're just voting to accept or not accept the restoration plan is subject to discussion.
Yes.
Because I think they, some of the people that spoke have brought up some good, points to consider.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
I am absolutely just thrilled that this has become a possibility. So, very excited. That's all I have.
Who's gonna make this committee?
What's that?
Who's gonna build the committee together?
It'll be just like our other committees. I'll put a request out for those that are interested, and then we'll build it from there. And then I'll bring the committee to the board and have you all approve it. That's my intent.
There's a board member I would join that committee if we're gonna put a board member on it. You guys have mine. So. if
It's
there is-
something we'll review when we get to
Okay.
that point. We're not there yet.
Yeah. But I'm-
You know, there's still a lot of paperwork that
Oh,
needs
yeah.
to be signed.
Yeah, the ones are very nice.
I will say, accepting the resolution allows me to sign the paperwork. So,
Yeah, that's a lot.
Any other discussion on the resolution?
No, like I want to kind of reiterate what's already been said. This is a great opportunity for the town of Messiah. It's long awaited. You know, it's going to be a beautiful addition to the town.
Fantastic. Motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Garcia. Laura, if you can roll call vote, please.
Trustee Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson Burek,
Absolutely, yes.
Trustee Nevadas,
Yes.
Mayor, the roll call is 3 yeses.
Great, thank you very much for approval of This is a fantastic thing. Next item, for approval, the long-term utilization restoration plan for 2380 Kaiser Picasso.
So moved.
Second.
Who made the second? Sorry.
Sure. Trustee Nevadas, sorry.
All right, fantastic. Motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Nevadas. I will open it up for discussion, and I'll just touch on this as I already have. This was it's a restoration plan. So with that, couple of things to note on that. So the direction in this plan, a majority of it was created as I was working with the donor in creating the kind of plan to move forward for the property. In that, not everything, as any other plan is, not everything is 100% set in stone. Things and plans change. It just serves as a guiding document for the committee, as the committee's there, and then also for the fiscal side on our side of the town. That's why I wanted to try to include as many grant opportunities as possible within that, and how those grants could be obtained. And just doing the research on the grants was a very heartwarming and eye-opening part as well on how we can work on things. This is, as it was noted on the last page of the plan, there is a design that is in this plan that does show a parking lot that goes around the entire property. This was completed by the previous administration. So I included that only in this document as what was already, work that has already been done, work that has already been paid for by the town, to show how the potential of this is. It's not, as I mentioned, it's a guiding document. It's not, nothing is set in stone. And I think that through the process of however the committee reviews this, as long as we meet the specifics on that deed, we're set. So I'll open it up.
Yeah, because I already have a suggestion, because there's a lot of parking here, and it's meant to be a center for agricultural, educational activities. So there should be an outdoor area where people can gather, and they could have different presentations that people would drink coffee and just converse out there. Just another place that'd be serving, and so in that area that kind of that is bounded by Calle de Parian, that would be a nice area where you could have this green space with seating and different things for different events, and maybe a demonstration garden. I talked to you about, how to have native plants that are low water usage, and kind of educate all people, the town residents, is what could work with very little water. And so instead of that parking area right there. But that's just an idea that I want to be the first one to suggest.
Go, Jerry, go.
Thank you, trustee.
I'm laughing. The league had told us that there's a roof grant that they'll come down here and all.
Right, exactly.
I was like, we can use that grant to fix the roof.
I'm glad we think along the same page.
So the league has grants offered if it's a town building. Money, of course, we don't have to pay for it. We just found out, and AJ said they come up here and they'll give us a list of what kind of for roofing. And I was like, well, here's our first one. Now we need a roof.
Well, the clarification on that, though, is that it's coverage through the insurance company, so it needs to be a covered loss. But
It is a covered loss.
who's to say over time that there's not evidential wind or hail or peril-related damage to that structure that might actually be covered. So
Yeah.
I think there's potential.
There's a lot of potential. So there is a lot of money out there to help historical preservations on there, so we're just gonna have to look for it and find it, but this is huge. And I have to agree with Jerry, less parking and more, make more.
More community, kind of a gathering place for residents and visitors.
Right, right.
Any other discussion?
No.
No, I mean, I hate to reiterate, but yeah, I mean, this was done in 2023, before we had the added parking, at the community, the other park area. But I definitely saw this and then I realized that it was old, but I think it definitely has too much parking. I want to see more green space, more like the outside that was mentioned. And because then I want to minimize the parking, because then it's also going to take away from the structure. And that's what it's there for, so we can see it and appreciate it and maintain it. And so those are just my thoughts. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Any other discussion? Motion on the floor by Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Trustee Nevada for approval of the long-term utilization and restoration plan. Seeing there is no further discussion, Gloria, if you can roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Johnson Beard,
Yes.
Trustee Garcia,
Yes.
Trustee Nevada,
Yes.
Mayor, the roll call is 3 yes.
Thank you very much for approval of that long-term utilization and restoration. Exciting things. Next item on the agenda, public input, where the public is invited to give and address the board or any other input. If you have input, please step to the podium, state your name for the record.
Chris Alexander for the record. You've got some hearings coming up on changing some of the ordinances in the town of Mesilla. And with that, I think you need to take into consideration what's being asked, because the state of New Mexico failed. They lied to everybody in this town about the improvements on University Avenue. We all agreed that University Avenue would be increased in width and what have you. There was a clear understanding that the irrigation canal that ran between the residences and the road would be put underground. And what happened is they spent hundreds of millions of taxpayers' dollars on changing the improvements, and then they didn't follow the rule. They were supposed to build what we agreed to. We didn't give them carte blanche to come in and not bury the pipe underground, but elevate all the ground 3 to 4 feet above the existing level. So they would have that underground, creating a completely hazardous position for every property along there that's a resident. If anybody runs off that road, they're going to land up in those people's, not backyards, but in their houses. And the state of New Mexico needs to come in. They need to redo it, take it back down, and everybody that's sitting in this room that's a decision maker should be behind that. Each and every one of you say you're here for historical preservation. This is not historical preservation that's going on over there. This is the main entrance into the town of Mesilla, from the University Historical Corridor to the Avenida de Mesilla Historical Corridor. And by changing the rules for facilitation of a special interest group, that's a no. And we, as the people here, need to do something about it. At the time that they did the first improvement on University, they wanted to put street lights in, just like you have going down Highway 28. We said, no, you can put the street lights in for the aesthetics, but hook them up, no, we don't want that lit up. And now you have, if you're aware of what the Truck Stop of America looks like and the lighting that they've got out there, that's the type of lighting they're going to put in along University Avenue. There will be no privacy and light intrusion from every place. And so I would just encourage you all to take a good look at what's coming up. And if you're in the thought of historical preservation, keep in mind what historical preservation is, not changing. We're here to preserve what we are. We don't want to make changes that are going to escalate the change of Mesilla. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Any other public comment?
Trina Witter, two comments that I hope you can address during your comments at the end. One is if you could give a update on what safety measures, maybe DOT is discussed about the intersection over here at Calle El Paso, and where they keep having the accidents as people come around the curve. So I haven't been to an MPO meeting, so I don't know what discussions are going on, but if you could give us an update on that. Also an update on the status of the flock camera thing that you were going to talk about. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wetter. Any other public comment? Seeing as there is none, we'll move forward with Board of Trustee Committee reports. And we'll start. Trustee Nevadas.
Since the last meeting, I did visit with the Economic Community Development just to get updates and discussion. And so it's pretty much my report.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Garcia.
Okay, we had an MPO meeting yesterday. We kindly elected mayor to be
I knew that
chair.
was coming. So.
Oh, I was like, he's not here, so we're gonna vote him.
That,
And then right,
we talked about.
yeah. Well, I usually pick on her about it, and she looked, and I was like, I said, Mayor Russell Hernandez said, calm down. And then executive committee was from us, Chris's was Harris. And then through the minutes, characters. And then we approved the bicycle and pedestrian advisory, Andrea Holkeen. And then I'll let Mayor Pro Tem talk about the rest. I did talk to Harold Love outside the MPO meeting, so I don't know if you want me to tell you the update on 292 now or Trustee Combs.
You can say no, that's fine.
Okay, so I asked Mr. Love what's going on with 292, and he's gonna bring an electrician to check the lights, and they have a plan. So I asked him, what is your plan? So their plan is where the arrows are at, they're gonna make them flash. And he's hoping to get them done. He's supposed to say by the end of the year. I looked at him, I said, Mr. Love, that's, he's like, we'll push by the end of summer, Veronica. I was like, I will follow up with you. So that is our plan, that the arrows were, he said in other cities and other towns, the flashing arrows work. So people are aware of that sharp curve. So that is our plan. They are aware of the lights not working. He is gonna bring an electrician in, I believe he said sometime next week. So I will follow up with him about that. So that is all.
Also on that, thank you, Trustee. I do want to note on that they will also be replacing the rumble strips because those are worn down. And the flashing light.
Yeah, because he was only aware of one accident. I was like, oh no.
Yeah. No. And district engineer and I have had multiple conversations about that area as well as other areas. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay, just to follow up to the MPO, it was nice to have Trustee Garcia there in attendance. It was nice to have an an active participant, and she actually, thankfully, because we need a quorum. So, and yes, also your vice chair is Counselor Garcia from the city.
No, it's Harris.
Here.
It's Harris.
Oh, did I call Garcia? Who's Garcia?
Council Harris.
Counselor Harris.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's
And
Harris.
golly, where did I get Garcia?
Commissioner Gometos is on there as well, right?
The executive committee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will be you and vice chair and then
Correct.
Commissioner Goodhouse. And then, the TPF deadline is April 10th for applications. And then they, went over the schedule, that follows up, but yeah, deadline April 10th. And then, the staff did have, Andrew did present, the follow-up, on that we had tasked him to do, regarding safety measures at the performance measures, safety measures at the December meeting. And he reached out to several NPOs across the states and focused in on 3. So he went over in detail. There still needs to be further research done, and correct me if I misunderstood, but predominantly what was stated or what he mentioned with the MPOs, that there is not a huge loss in federal funding if we do not approve the state's performance measures. So that's what he's, and there were some other things I was meant to ask him to forward the presentation, but he's gonna do some additional research on that. So, and I think that's pretty much it. Next meeting, second Wednesday of March, whatever that is. That's all I have. March 11th. Yeah, because it's the same as February, yeah.
Right.
See, this is
We're already
why we need to have meetings on Monday.
Throws us off.
I know.
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you. And I did miss NPO due to a conflicting meeting running longer than I had anticipated. So, but how Andrew is that I'm already filled in on everything.
Oh,
so.
yeah, he's very thorough.
It's a good thing. So
Yeah, very thorough.
I have no other committee reports to report on right this minute, though. So I'll move on to staff and trustee comments. We'll start with the commercial department.
Good evening, Mayor and trustees. A couple things to go over. The ACO codes job posting will close tomorrow, and then we'll set up interviews. As of right now, we have 4 applicants, so it shouldn't be an all-day thing. I'll still get with.
Just set the date.
All right, you said it. Cupid's Chase 5K is tomorrow. The registration starts at 7. Race itself starts at 9.
On a Friday?
Oh, I keep thinking today's Friday. Saturday. I should have known. I already messed up on 2 text messages today. There are over 800 participants this year. So Calle del Norte will be closed eastbound, but not westbound. And Calle de Sur will be closed westbound. And then Snow will be closed northbound for the period of the race.
Calle del Norte.
Eastbound.
Eastbound, okay,
So we divert them at Snow and Calle del Norte.
okay.
Um,
Trying to see how I can, thank you
You-
for letting me know. 'Cause I-
You can still get out because they turn Santo Tomas and take all those other side roads to make it legit 5K.
Thank you for and sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but, thank you for letting us know.
I know that's been the issue in the past, so every time a 5K is coming up, I'll give you
I
the
got
details.
stuck in-
Yep.
When I was supposed to leave for Albuquerque, I think in November, for like 3 hours, because I couldn't leave because There was no notice.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So
Marshall.
the next 5Ks or the future 5Ks, I'll make sure to present
Thank you.
meeting prior to them. The upfitting on all the units were completed. That's the Under Armour door panels, the bulletproof panels on all the units was completed yesterday. One unit had some damage done to it, but the company's gonna get that fixed on their dime. But other than that, all of them came out clean and ready to go. I submitted the Law Enforcement Protection Fund application today. The deadline was March 31st, so it was a show off, I guess. The total we're eligible for is $108,500, which is an automatic $95,000, which all departments get, and then it's $1,500 per officer. And right now we have 9 sworn officers. We lose just under $20,000 for the loan payment on 2 Durangos, but this year is the last time we pay that loan. Next year for the fund, I'm gonna come and look for approval to do another loan to get 2 more units so we can start getting a cycle going on. So we can deadline some of the older units or use them as motor pools so they're not on the street 24/7. And then the rest of the that'll leave us with just under 89,000, and that'll be put towards equipment, department needs, training, and then community policing funds. So that's my plan for the Law Enforcement Protection Fund that's coming here. To piggyback off the mayor's presentation for Santa Fe, the Police Chiefs Association was following a couple bills. The one to make assault on a police officer felony 2 instead of a 3. I believe that was still going through the committees. It hadn't been killed. And then there was a juvenile one that was going to up punishment for shooting at or from a moving vehicle or at a dwelling, and then the use of a firearm in a crime for the juvenile side, which is, as you all know, Las Cruces. All of us are actually mainly Las Cruces is dealing with that. Another good one for us, Workforce Solutions is working for a bill for officer wellness. The fire department or the fire side has had it for years where they cover, or you get death benefits coverage for heart attacks 24 hours after a major event. So they're using this bill to catch up the law enforcement side, and they're using a major event as a use of force event, a foot chase, a pursuit, anything that you exert energy on, you're covered for the 24 hours after that. And then they're going to look at hearing loss coverage, and then their PTSD was a debate in the chiefs meeting on how it was worded, but it's the wellness programs we've already had in place where we have someone free you can call. Municipal League has someone on standby that anyone can call, whether it's us, our family members, anyone. So the PTSD one, I don't know if they're going to finally put that one in. I haven't seen the end of the bill, but that's only coverage while you're in active law enforcement. So it's not after retirement. It's not if you leave the profession. It's just when you're actively in law enforcement. So that's a good one for us. And then as for Flock, I'll get your email, or if the mayor has your email. I tabled that one for now, just from all the concerns from the citizens, talking to the mayor, concerns from the board, and then doing some other research. So that one's being tabled for now, so that's not moving forward. So I appreciate the research and stuff you guys put up. But I got to talk to Trustee Nevada's for a good 30 minutes today, went over some good stuff. There's pros and cons, but right now it'll be tabled. So that's where we stand for it right now. And then I'll stand for any questions, concerns.
I have 2 questions. Two. GPSs for everybody, what's going on? What's the status on that?
It's in the works. So I'm able to provide it.
Okay. And second thing, with the whole camera thing, I'm huge on educating. I don't know what it is. I didn't say I was for it. I didn't say I was against it. And I'm one that believes in educating. And I did send that to the mayor saying that I think if we do go that route, I think we need to have a community meeting and show them everything, bring somebody down and show what it's about and stuff like that. And we can take it from there, the pros and cons for a minute. And then, just baby steps. Anything that, I love our town, don't get me wrong, but any changes in our town, we have to let easy in it and not just jump right into it. But there was an article on Facebook.
Yeah, the one you sent it to me, and then
I sent it to one of the residents as well too. And I read it and I was like, interesting. And so, but other than that, I heard our signs got found. Thank you.
I'll catch you up on that after the meeting.
Yeah, so other than that, that's about it.
I am also glad to hear the flashing arrow signs and the rumble strips, because that'll help. There's been more than one crash there. I can go back to when I was on graveyards when I first started, so that'll be a good addition.
I was excited when you said the flashing arrows.
Oh, and then one other thing, we keep getting emails and calls to the station. If you need us, call dispatch. If it's emergency, 911. If it's not an emergency, the non-emergent number. That's the quickest way you can get us. I just need to keep reiterating that. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. The fire chief is out, unfortunately, and I don't have any updates for him. Mr. Astorga with Public Works is also out, but we'll be back in tomorrow. But he did want me to give updates on, as if you haven't driven down University Avenue in specific, it is open both ways now down to Bowman and closed at the from Bowman to Main Street. They are working on the railroad tracks area right now and all of that, and finishing up some of the little details along University that does include some of the other infrastructure that was brought up this evening, and we are looking into some of the main plan, or I am looking into some of the main plans as they were originally approved back then, to see if we can catch up on that, because it's been a big resident request, and see the differences and when things may have changed potentially. We do have, what else did he say? The project at North Ed, at the Sequia and the bridge, that one's done except for some final cleanup that needs to be done by the contractor. And then we have the security system, it's about 80% done in the community center. Should be done within the next week. And then they'll start on the security system here. And then if you haven't been by the community center, there are a bunch of the raised beds out there for the community garden, which we started putting in. And we'll start getting the planning going between Public Works, Economic and Community Development, and the rest of the community to really start filling those beds in once the weather gets just a tad bit warmer. With that, I'll give it to Mr. Shalom.
Yes, hi, thanks, Mayor, trustees. The community development's been almost finalizing the completion of project one, or phase one, for the record management. We have all the files already scanned in the computer. We just need, which is very time consuming, index them to figure out which ones we're going to keep, which one we can destroy. We are waiting for the Square 9 software. That's going to help a lot, but they still got to be, I don't know if you're familiar with some of these IRS applications where it has these numbers on top, and it just, when you apply for them, it automatically, it's all part of all their software. So we're slowly moving into that. Again, all this, all paper, whatever paper we have, it's already scanned as far as cases. Now we just obtained another volunteer. She just came in this week. She's going to help us as well. Our previous volunteer can only make limited time. She's not able to come in as often anymore. But anyway, we've just started doing all the replats and all the floor plans. I believe the mayor brought in some plans from the public safety building. They were, they're in bad shape, but we're going to obviously try to salvage them and stuff. Put them in computers so it's easy index, so that way anybody, the administration, the public, trustees can obviously through certain channels access those files, which in turn is going to help us in the future make decisions and available again for the public. The next thing, historic preservation, we are still continue. We were putting together a real nice newsletter. Our next newsletter coming out. We're excited for that. A lot of the farmlands, the green belt and such are going to be mentioned, that's part of our historic as well here in Mesilla. So we're looking forward to bringing that to the forefront for as far as educating and preserving that cherish that part of Mesilla. The hearing coming up, as you mentioned, by Mr. Alexander, coming up it's this upcoming Monday. There's three typical hearings. One of them is I want to clarify. I don't want it to be confusing the university project amendments to that code. I don't want to talk too much about it, but we will discuss that after the commission has reviewed it. It's just in itself to help address the situation with concerns with the properties, and we are, sentiment to that. Evaluate amendment code to kind of help them kind of fix the problem. It's gonna help alleviate the problem. But that's just one in itself. The historic preservation part of it is all in itself as well. We're starting the local registry, the part of the COG requirement, our local registry. So we're slowly, there are going to be 3 properties that are nominated, and what they're doing is they're nominated. The commission's going to hear. Obviously, it's going to be forwarded to the board of trustees for final approval. And then once they're nominated, then that'll be part of a local registry. Those 3, and then we'll do 3 more, and then we'll slowly start doing it, and then dragging in some of these landmarks or structures that we have here in Mesilla. What that will do is provide a lot of assistance from the state, from COG, to fund some of these private properties to help renovate and keep them in order, as well as public. Mention like the blacksmith, something like that shop could also be involved with that. And the last one is the commercial zone, not the historic commercial, but the commercial zone. We're evaluating. We're going to hear. It's going to be here reevaluating the signage. The signage has always been in controversy. We're trying to detail it to make sure that it's a little bit more detailed for specific needs in the community. Now that we have new times and new not opportunities, but the new businesses might come in that require different kind of signage and stuff. We a while back, maybe a year, 2 years ago, we talked about the convenience store, right? We're going to be talking about that. What kind of regulations can we impose on them to make sure that that's regulated? In the sense now, it's just included all in one lump sum. We're just going to try to slowly begin with the commercial zone, but slowly start separating each zone and identify what needs are or problems, and that way we can detail that and hopefully address some of these before they come to the forefront. So again, it's going to be the university project is going to be, which is under general provisions. Then it's going to be the signage, and then the last one will be the nominations for the historic local registry. And I stand by for any questions.
The meeting's on Tuesday.
Correct.
Thank you, first of all, for making me the signage. I did finish half a Capri. I'm more than sure you're gonna have a full house. Planning to go back tomorrow from the Mesilla Park area and get the other half. Letting them know that they have a hearing. I did make it very clear to them, Mesilla is not paying for the wall. They are not. I was like, but I did tell them, right now it's 6 feet. Eddie is trying to get it where you guys just university to get it a little higher. But I told them, if you guys don't speak up, we can't help. So I did very, very encourage them to come. So I made it very, very clear to them. I went to every single one. The only reason I even fished half the road, because they like to talk, and so do I. So, but I do plan to go finish tomorrow, this weekend, to get them to come in. And they did say they feel like they're not included. Nobody knew that we were having a hearing about it, so they were very appreciative. And I told them, call Eddie, he's really good at talking. So I told him to talk to you, but I made it very clear that no, Messia's not paying for the wall, So I even drove Chris Alexander because he was like, I'm like, no, let me show you what he's talking about. Like, get in the car, let's go. We went down university and I said, this is what we're talking about. So like I said, I will finish the neighborhood, and I encourage all you guys to go to the neighborhoods and talk to them. That's what we're here for. Bring the community in, get them involved. That's the only way. So I forgot the signage for the businesses, so I will go there this weekend and let them know that they're having a hearing. about it, so I will help you get the word out, so
Thank you.
I'll try my best. Thank you again.
Thank you, trustee. Yeah, and I really am, and as smart as the commission is, public comment, we try to assume a lot of times what's best for the community, but when they come forth, it makes it a little bit easier what direction we need to go to. So we definitely appreciate that.
Any other comments or questions, trustees? Thank you, sir.
Okay. One last thing, I didn't bring them with me, but as the mayor, you speaking, I will go out. Dorothy promised me that I wouldn't forget. They give them the pamphlet for cleaning the community cleaning. So as you speak, I'll pass them on. I apologize for not having it with me.
Thank you, sir.
As the mayor said, the finance department did attend a municipal day in Santa Fe, and we attended the clerk roundhouse huddle. It's been in force, I think it's been in place maybe 10 years now. And what they do is they review different events that are taking place. We network. There were about 50 this year, so it was pretty good. And they did say there would be a legislative recap on Wednesday, March the 4th. Spring conference will be in April in Las Vegas, wishful thinking, in Las Vegas, in Mexico. The annual conference will be held here in Las Cruces in August, on August 25th through the 28th at the Convention Center. And Clerk Institute for the two deputies are going, it'll be in October of 26th. They did, as you know, some of the municipalities still have an election in March. So they will be hosting another newly elected training right after that election, so if anybody's interested. And also, they stressed the importance of municipalities adopting rules and procedures. The code of ethics is optional, but they really push for that. And we delivered baskets to the governor and to everybody, like the mayor said. It was really nice. We didn't see everybody because they were all in either meetings or getting ready to go on the floor. But it was really nice to speak to their staff as well. Thank you.
I have a question. So I have a bunch of questions, sorry guys. So I asked for a list of the businesses I can go by, and I'm a little concerned. I'm gonna give this to the mayor, so maybe you can write to me what this means. It's showing that we have an outstanding balance of $60,940. I'm a little concerned about that, and it says special events like $32,000 that we haven't collected. So
Which report was that?
I'm gonna give it to the mayor, so if you don't mind looking at it and just,
to give that.
yeah, and then, if you can just,
And then we'll look at it.
yeah, and then that's all.
I don't know for me, so.
Yeah, so I was just kind of seeing maybe they written the wrong thing or something, but when I saw the charges, and then some people had 0, and then it said balance, and I was like, okay, I'm a little confused. So if you don't mind, just shoot me an email about it, please, I'd appreciate it.
Who printed out the report?
I don't know, I looked at my email, who sent it to me, but I asked for a copy I just wanted a copy of the businesses over here, I got that, so, I don't know, they might have just sent me. I didn't think we had this many businesses.
We have 160 or.
No,
100.
this one is like, look how many pages, we do not have this 300 and some businesses, I'd say. Where are they?
It includes home-based businesses too.
Yeah, it does, yeah, I'm like, wow.
Some of those businesses might have already been out of business, but they had a balance. But we just need to look at it, I didn't know.
Yeah, even special events was like 31 or 32,000, I was like, what is all
On
this?
business licenses?
I
we
just,
because.
It's all right, we'll look at it. And
I would appreciate
in
it.
detail, and thank you for bringing that up.
thank you.
And anything you need like that, we can definitely provide reporting and then, or drive down any information.
Yeah, just shoot me an email about concern, that's all, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Just real quick, yeah, I was glad to hear that we did, remove the flock cameras. I'm certainly all about implementing systems, procedures, utilizing any kind of tools or resources to keep our residents safe, by all means. But at this time, I just kind of felt it was a little too intrusive without having additional education or research to back up what we were really going to be using, utilizing that tool for. So, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'm not even gonna go into a lot, so you won't hear me talk a whole lot, unless you want me to. My kids are actually running in the Cupid's race this week, or weekend, so I'm excited for that. Don't look at me, I'm not running, I'll be out there cheering on. So I'm not a runner, but others in my family are, so that's a fantastic thing. But that this weekend is Valentine's Day, so it's a busy weekend for the entire town. So that's that. I've been in a lot of meetings lately and a lot of events. You all will be receiving an email from one of our federal senators' offices for, if you haven't already, for an event coming up next week. That's a special invitation for you all for a press release for the town funds that we're receiving. But other than that, I don't have anything else as of right now. So if there's no objection.
You forgot to ask Jerry, trustee Nevada.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Trustee Nevada. And actually, I had some comments today.
And see, you have more comments than me. I'm so used to going.
I just wanted.
I got you.
So how did you start off?
You start, because I had comments for,
Yeah, and then so you asked, and then you asked me, and I was like, oh.
Oh my God.
I thought you were going backwards. I was
See,
like,
I'm
okay.
not exhausted. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I was like,
Trustee Nevada.
Well, I just wanted.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to, the comments, I reached out to residents in Mesilla Farms relating to lighting that's on University Avenue. Because when I lived there, we always tried it on the dark skies, and I don't know how this will impact. There's 55 homes in that area. So I reached out to them. They're going to get back to me about their thoughts about that. There's 2 lights, one in each entrance to Mesilla Farms. So the other one is I on the camera item, I did receive information from some residents. I talked to the marshal here about that because I wanted to educate myself. And I also spoke to the NMSU PDG, and because they do have cameras on university property. And he indicated, that you have, if you're going to use them, you have to establish guardrails or parameters for who's going to access and how they're going to information on that is going to be used, how long it's going to be, how long the information is going to be kept. It could be 30 days, 60 days, or whatever. But there's a lot of things that in the future for consideration that if we go down that road, that we do establish those guardrails so that nothing, so we don't come up with surprises later on, and the sharing of information also from the cameras. So, but those are the comments I had.
Thank you, sir.
I got you, trustee Nevada. I got you.
Well, now I do have other comments, so. Yes.
Yeah.
Trustee Garcia.
I encourage all board of trustees to do this cleanup event for 2 reasons. One, it shows that we are working as a team and we're representing our residents out there. I remember when the residents hosted this, it was fun. And then they had a potluck at the park and they had someone playing music. I couldn't stay very long, but I did bring my food dish and then I bounced, but it was really fun. It was nice to see the residents going out there. It was nice that the residents, now that the town of Mesilla, I guess, picked it up, I just really encourage the board of trustees to remember why we're up here, and especially when events like this happens, it shows our faces out there and why we're doing it. You know, we're not doing it we're doing it for you guys. We're showing up there, on there. And 9 out of 10 times I will show up to every event, just because we need to be reminded that this is what we're here for. Also, I have something else I thought. Just this cleanup event, you know, please, 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 I really hope you guys show up to it and it'd be nice. And then, regarding the lights, I talked to the DOT and he said the lights are going up, and I asked him, residents from Happian and Sea Park area, who do they need to contact? He told me to email him and he'll give you a list of contacts who they need to talk to, so I'll forward it to you once I get it. So, they can reach out their concerns to them, because I'm not trying to be mean, but that's out of our hands. Like, we don't have a say on it to be, I mean, and I'm not trying to be mean about it, but I mean, all we can do is provide them information. So I talked to the DOT guy. I emailed him tonight, well, earlier today, and I'm waiting for his response, and then once I get it, I'll pass it to you. So, you can, on there. Another thing, I do apologize. When the girls were out there giving out baskets, we should have fed them lunch before they took off. You know, show the appreciation. And so, you guys were out there giving out baskets, we should have told them, when you're done, call us, we'll take you guys out to lunch and hit the road back home. You know, so I do apologize, we should have offered to feed them before we left. You know, show a little appreciation, because like I always said, a little appreciation goes a long ways. And there's no I in team, there is an enemy, I get that, but we do need to come together as a board. You know, we don't have to be like everybody else separated. So this cleanup event is probably one of the first things that we do all need to come back as a town together. Starting with the board, we set presence. So we leave our problems here, but when we go out those doors, if we like each other or not, we bet. Let's get together. That's all.
Sorry, just for the record on that, I will be out of town on the weekend of the 21st.
Well, I will put your name, we can clean up. I'll clean your, down your street for me. I got your street.
Thank you. Any other trustee comments? No, Mayor Pro Tem? So the cleanup event is, I'm glad that Dorothy is working on organizing that. I do want to say that there have been a couple of residents that have called and specifically asked about potential areas for cleanup. So if you have ideas, please make sure you call the town hall, let myself, Dorothy, Jacob know those areas that you think need a little extra detail, and they'll be added to the list to all the volunteers that are going around. So we will be doing that for sure. The university lights, I mean, that's probably the lights going down to the university. That's one of the biggest number of calls that I've personally been receiving and working with over that. I am, as I mentioned earlier, trying to work with DOT to find the plan where all of those were approved, how they were driven down on and chosen, especially as it was pointed out, given our lighting ordinance more than anything, being those are tall gooseneck lamps in those areas. So we will do that. I do personally, if there's a possibility whenever the project is turned over for maintenance agreements for the town, I think that's something that can be reviewed in our university trail enhancements grant funding potential. Is maybe even looking at what those enhancements down university might look like with changing out those lights to actually be the lights that look like we have around the rest of the town, which is what should have been incorporated into the planning. But as Trustee Garcia already mentioned, it's too late in the game for that, and it's not anything that unfortunately we have direct control over. There are minor things that are and were addressed and will be addressed by the DOT engineering team, as they mentioned to me. Those are some extra safety precautions at the intersections, at the main intersections where we see the intersection of University and Old Farm Road, the intersection of Stanford and University there, and some of the other intersections where traffic can speed up and potentially land into somebody's backyard or into their home. DOT is looking at extra safety measures for that. There's also a review of the speed limit down University as a whole, and that is likely going to be changing to be lower because of the given amount of traffic that's going into that area. So there are other measures that are being reviewed and asked upon that might be potentially changed. They're just there right now. We don't have a full confirmation on them. But the lighting is, as I mentioned, one of the big things. I do want to also note thank you to everyone because of the meeting date change. I do appreciate you more than anything. It was overlooked by myself and my extra set of eyes all the way around on the team on the date being incorrect there. But I appreciate you. I wanted to make sure that we were set fully meeting our OMA, our Open Meetings Act, on all of that.
I know why you did that.
So
I know why you did that.
what's that?
Because February 6th was my birthday, and I was thinking you were thinking of me.
Okay, no, this up.
Happy birthday! How did I miss that? I don't celebrate it. No.
The point where we don't celebrate anymore.
Right.
I do appreciate, as I say, or try to say, I appreciate our team here at the town for all of the hard work that they do in every single department. Our residents for coming forward and providing feedback and just being here. And then of course the board for everything that you do. We are an amazing community and we would not be who we are today without even participation from everybody. So thank you. And with that, there is no
I remember.
objection.
The list, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. The list that the municipality gave us of all the dates, can you get that calendar and email it to all the trustees? That way all the classes are on there, so if they want to sign up for it, you know what I'm talking about, the dates? Because trustee Elias, I volunteer for some. Yeah, you know, the one they gave us out there, if you can, that's it, I promise you guys. I should write these things down, huh?
Great.
Should have.
And if there is no objection, the time is now 7:25. This meeting is adjourned.
Okay. Yes.